This is with about 10 to go. Scott Drinkwater, it was like the apple on the tree. He just couldn't resist the temptation. And
look what that's done. It sent shockwaves through humanity.
Yeah, and they had a real roll on here. He's grounded, and that was pretty much that turned it around. But I want to just go back to the previous lead up to this. This is 3 6 games with the game on the line and the Cowboys surging home. So there's one there, and straight away there is another one. So that's 2 within the same tackle, and then there's a third one as well. There you see the signal then.
Mate, we're the same in Origin. We had 3 on 1 tackle and we didn't make 5 metres. It's ridiculous.
Would you then not roll penalty?
How fortunate are the Roosters not to have a sin bin there? Like, if you're talking repeated infringements, there was 3 in 1 tackle.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's happening. You know, sides now realise, especially on early tackles, you know what, they're giving up a tackle. We normally make sure they get to have a look at that rule, I believe, with the 10 metres especially, about maybe switching that back to penalties because teams are just taking the piss.
And I'm not taking anything away. The Roosters, I think, probably deserved a win, but that was a crucial time in the game. And it's just, you know, if these 6 games are such a big part of the game now, and if we're fair dinkum about them, you know, if you're giving them away like that, that's why the rule was brought in, for that not to happen. But I thought Crichton was great. I thought Radley is the key man for them from here on in. The influence he has with and without the football for this Roosters outfit is profound now that he's back from that 5 weeks. And I was surprised, you mentioned Sam Walker, I'm surprised that Taumalolo wasn't put across to the left at some stage to test the young man. It seemed like an opportunity missed for me for the North Queensland side.
Some good players, both sides. It was a great game of footy. And it got to that stage, like you said, it was 18 all, with just under 15 minutes to go. And when you looked at both teams, you thought, well, both teams had young halves and inexperienced halves. Hutchison on one side with Sam Walker, and on the other side you had Drinkwater and Dearden. And it was really a matter, I thought, who really stood up. Also, Cowboys had a couple of poor kicks, I thought, in amongst that period as well. Yeah. Well, on the other end, I thought Drew Hutchison's kicking game was really strong. And then Sam Walker also then come up with 2 or 3 passes that cemented tries. So
there were 2 bad kicks in a row from Tommy Dearden, unfortunately, and you can see he just put them on the back foot. There was no depth to the kicks. There was no pressure on the kicks.
How do they improve those last tackle plays, the Drinkwater and Dearden combination? Practice? Yep. Time. More time doing it as well.
I like video too.
Nathan Brown spoke about this really well a few weeks ago, where he said when they get themselves into tough positions, they need to be better at getting themselves out of it. And the more they put themselves in those hard positions, the better they will become in the future.
But can you emulate a game situation in practice? Can you practice for the pressure of
the intensity of it, but you can do a lot of things surrounding it.
Well, on that one, you had a right foot kicker on the left-hand side of the field.
Yeah, so that's an easy fix.
So what the halfback's got to do is make sure they get to the left side of the field, so your right foot kicker's on the right side of the field. So in amongst, before he's kicked, there's about 2 or 3 things that the team could have done right and got in a better position for him to be in a better position to kick. So that's the bad place you want to be. So there's so many things that need to go into it, unless you learn your lesson out of it, and the team has to get better at it. The halfback gets a chance to nail it, but there's a lot of team dynamics that need to work for him to be in the best position.
And clearly you do that by practice, and you go to the video and you go through those instances as to, what we should have done better. And self-appraisal. I don't like going back, but all those years ago, I'd give myself a mark out of 10 for every kick that I came up with in a game.
Really?
Yeah, well,
So you go back through videos?
I'd go back and have a look, and
you also remember ones you don't do well, so they stick in your head.
Well, your kicking game has always been so important, and it's got to be 7.5 and better in every kick, And so if you get too many 3s and 4s in self-appraisal, and sometimes a good kick is just kicking as far as you can and maybe finding open spaces and getting the ball to bounce. That can sometimes be as good as a forced restart or stuff like that.
So did they, and I promise I'm not trying to have a dig at your age here, but...
Did they have electricity back then? That's where you're going, isn't it?
Did they have VHS? How did you look back at games? Records?
Well...
VH, did they give you an individual
video? It was like
video?
cartoons. It was like photographers had to take a lot of quick shots in a row.
And they'd flick a book.
Well, what I'd do, I'd get the black and white footage and have a look at it.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. Thank you so much.